So roll call, Councilor Manzer.
Here.
Councilor Peter.
Here.
Councilor Matthew, Deputy Warden Matthew. Councilor Ross.
Here.
And then, of course, our Manager of Corporate Services, Cora Lee, our Executive Assistant, Taylor Robinson, and our CAO, Jeff Sunderland, and our Deputy CAO, Tyler Lee, is on vacation. Though I don't know why he's on vacation this close to Christmas. Just trying to get things done. So I'd like us all to pause to seek guidance. And now I would like approval. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, could I have approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a seconder?
Second. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. There are no presentations or delegations this evening. So we will move on to the minutes of November the 12th, 2024. Was there any errors or omissions anyone saw?
I'll move the approval of the minutes of November 12th.
And is there a seconder?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. The CAO report. Meeting reminders, just that you're going to really have it easy for the rest of the month.
Christmas is always
December
great.
the 17th, no meeting. December the 24th, no meeting. December the 31st, no meeting. January 7th, no meeting. But January 14th, we will have a 5 p.m. committee of the whole, followed by a 6 p.m. bylaw and policy. On January 21st, there'll be no meeting. And on January the 28th at 5 p.m., there is council. Anyone have any concerns over those dates? Okay.
I think we should have a meeting on the 24th.
I have no problem with that. But I think I'd rather have it on the 31st myself.
We'll let it go this year.
Okay. We'll look at it for next. I'm saying that our CAO updates. Does anyone have any questions on the CAO updates? As you know, during the recent NSFF conference, delegates continue to push for the province to take back the file on coastal protection. Strategic planning, we have engaged Gordon McIntosh to host our strategic planning session. This session will be held February 20th and 21st. More details to follow. Under the fire services review, Bruce Snell has started his work with the fire departments. The Equity and Anti-Racism Act, there is no update. The Accessibility Act, there is no update. And cell coverage, there's no update. Is there any questions of Jeff anyone has?
I could have one question just on the fire service review. What's the timeline for this work with the fire department?
So the first piece of work Bruce is doing is an inventory with the fire departments, just on what they have on gear, trucks, dates, and whether equipment is certified and kind of age. And we are trying. Bruce's goal is March 31st. We're looking for that to help feed into the budget process. So last year we were approached by the fire service. Municipal Fire Service Agency quite late in the budget process for an insurance program, and we still may do that, but it was trying to understand, are there other tools that would help departments? We heard on different places they were feeling price or pressure increases on costs of equipment that was outside of kind of fire trucks and big capital. So this was the first step on that piece of work, and that will likely start to inform council's further discussions on this that will move through kind of their strategic plan into next year.
Right. So this work on the fire service is more about inventorying the equipment. It's not strategizing on like fire station locations or anything more broader than that.
No, nothing broader than that for this I'm going to call it this fiscal year, so until March 31st.
Right, yeah.
Anything else will be kind of strategic plan discussions,
Mhm.
and even that will be to be kind of determined where we're going. But no plans, and this was just started to kind of understand. And I know you're in the fire service, Peter, but I think BAs, breathing apparatus, and bunker gear were some of the things, and we had just gotten feedback on that through COVID. The prices, even on that equipment, has just gone, so that's not sustainable. And trying to figure out if we are going to adjust anything we're doing with our financial formulas, what's actually needed. But yeah, no, just inventory.
Okay, perfect. For me, another one on the strategic planning.
I'm sorry, are you finished?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Excuse me. King's Transit, you guys had some meetings. Any idea what the strategic plan will be coming in? Obviously not December, but close
Probably
to the
going
new
to
year.
be, I'd say, June.
So
That announcement of funding.
That
there's some challenges. So the units are pushed the 9. I think we're up to potentially 9 involved in King's Transit. Ideally, by April, a number of the issues have been sorted out. But it is into a challenging time of both governance and the financial model are where the discussions are, where the consultants are working. And those are two very sensitive, and we've got units that range in size from Annapolis Royal to Kings. So quite literally small. I think Annapolis Royal might be the smallest in the province, and Kings has got to be, I think, 3rd or 4th in the province at this point. So we're expecting some challenges, but the committee is starting its work with ideally having new models ready for April 1st.
I still think it's going to be June.
Oh, I think by the time, so sorry, that's to then be able to make the decisions on the recommendations from the board. You can't talk about moving routes until you've decided who the partners are, the governance structure, and the funding structure. So yes, June will be before the work or the discussion on where any of that actual work is buried on the other side, governance and funding. So, and I think we have 2 of the 9 are returning, sort of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new mayors and boards at the table, so it's a very challenging time for that transition.
I was wondering, is there any chance that we could put this item as one of our tracking items like we have in here?
Sure thing.
Yeah, I think it would be nice if we had the timeline and then what the milestones are, so we can, participate in influencing the.
I got rid of a bunch of items. It's a perfect new one to add in.
This has been a special concern in the area. So I asked when the news came out, I had a couple emails. People asking, hey, did you see this? Anything coming our way? So I think it would be a good idea to just stay tuned to it, right?
Perfect.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
Your arm up again? Okay.
Yeah.
You got to have it so I can see it. That's
Yeah. It's the last question. On strategic planning, is there any pre-work that we are supposed to do before we get to the sessions in February?
Yes, but there's two different kinds of work. So you'll start getting some discussion, I don't want to call it work, from me in January, like that bylaw and policy on January 14th. We'll start some discussions that evening and some presentations from probably one staff member. And then the consultant himself, that'll be February. He normally sends out a workbook for his material. But yeah, so we've got a few departments where there's overlap between departmental work and council strategic plans. Renewable energy being the single largest one of those. So January 14th will be a presentation of the renewable energy coordinator.
Right. We're not expected to conduct any form of public consultation or anything like that in our areas.
Nothing like that for this one.
Okay. Then we will continue under the department reports. Does anyone have any questions or concerns? for comments on the departmental reports? Yes, Matthew?
I just wanted to comment on Candace's report for the Digby Rail Trail Bed. It's good to see that the work was getting done, and I've had a lot of questions in the last 4 months, maybe even longer, about the section, and I've got some ideas I'll bring forward later on with that stuff. But yeah, it was a really good write up. Happy to see it, because I know it's hard for her. You've only got so much money, and you're working on Van Tassel Trail, which they've been doing a great job at, and then there's so many trails you can't do them all once.
Yeah.
but did a really good job getting to where you had to get. So
Yeah, and the rail bed continues to be a challenge. Everybody wants their section fixed,
Oh, yeah,
right? And it's 40-ish kilometers, right? And that's the balance. But no, we're getting some great work in, and her comfort level on the trail, and starting to know which contractors and what we can get done with our funding. We've got our application for next year for more funding than this year to help go with what we're putting in. So no, coming together very good.
yep.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? As usual, I find the reports very well done by all, and it gives us what's going on in the municipality. It gives us good answers for people. All right. Can I have a motion to accept the department reports, please?
Make a motion to accept all the department reports.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Under dangerously and unsightly premises, there is nothing. Committee reports, discussion through the CAO.
So this was an idea we've kind of thrown around a little bit at management meetings, and I wanted to bring it forward to you. So some of you that have been on council for a little while, you've seen that the committee of the whole agendas compared to council agendas aren't always very even.
No.
And we've tried, I would say in my time here with the warden, we've tried about 10 different ways to get committee information into this room and shared with your co-councilors better, right? Because you all sit on a lot of committees for us. The minutes, sometimes they work as a tool, but I would like your feedback, or if we're ready for maybe a trial, if we moved the committee updates into committee of the whole, and each of you provided a brief verbal update on those committees, just to help keep each other in the loop, right? Like people other than our Tideview rep get asked about Tideview in our community, or Dark, and just to help share a bit more of this information that's going on. Some of these committees are small. Some, like Dark, is a major organization that we're part of funding, King's Transit. So I thought it would be a way to maybe try it, and the committee of the whole agendas. We share all the staff reports. It's meant to be the organizational update. It seemed like it could fit here and flush out this meeting a little bit if you wanted to give it even a short-term try, even to the end of this fiscal year.
Actually, we used to do reports back from every committee we had, and people felt it was taking too long. I personally felt we lost when we stopped. So I personally like this idea. I like it on committee of the whole. There's less on here. I personally think it's a great idea. Now I'm going to go around the room. Joan, what do you think?
I think it's a great idea, because you do get questions about things that are happening on committees you're not on, and I have no way of knowing what's been done at those committees. Some of the minutes aren't always up to date on that, and it's difficult to come up with
Because they have to be
Approved at the next
before we
meeting,
can.
right?
Yeah. That's a great. Matthew.
It's my biggest downfall. I can never remember to send the Taylor.
But I send all Dark stuff.
I know you do. But I mean, even the ones you're not on, you're not catching
yeah.
them ones for me. Anyway, no, I agree.
I try.
I would do it this way. I'd try it. For sure.
I think it's a great idea. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to give it a try and see what happens.
And Peter?
Yeah, same thing on all three. I think the one thing we'll have to tweak is like the format of it, make it sort of objective and not take too much time.
Yeah, that's it. Just kind of brief.
Yeah.
We're gonna go verbal, right?
Yeah,
But
we're
just
gonna highlight.
brief
Yeah,
highlight.
yeah.
Like I say, we can. This will be a trial period of going
Yeah.
through it, right? But yeah, just to help, because like I say, we've gotten the feedback on different committees. That is challenging. We just thought this.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing like in this format here, like a short paragraph, and then every time there's an update, we add it in yellow, and then you have the history, and like it's a little story that you get.
But we still always need the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more like for the tracking, right?
Yeah.
The update tracking.
I agree. Matthew, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can do it like we do our activity reports at council. When Linda goes, or sorry, the warden goes around the room and picks us, that we would have our paragraph ready, and then we could talk about everything that we've done. Would that work? Because I mean, we'll have our agenda, and we'll see in the back page the committees that are coming up that we attended. Just have to jot a paragraph down like we do our activity report at the end of council, and then just do a quick word paragraph where the warden points to us.
I'm open to either.
Maybe keep it 3 to 4 minutes long. We're on camera. The community gets to know what we're doing. You guys get to know what we're doing. And we're not taking up too much time, because I know what Jeff's saying, maybe before it was too long, but we kept it to 3 to 5 minutes or 4 minutes each. Because there's going to be some nights we're going to have long committee meetings too, right?
And that's fine.
Maybe we can work something.
But I really like the idea of committee dark. Okay. We have 2 representatives on dark. You would say what you had to say as a chair. I would add anything that if I needed. Okay. Then we would go to the next committee. I think that way the public is hearing the committees.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that, and that way we're not saying council, I attended 20 committee. Yeah, we all know your committees.
Do it
but
that way.
I just think that way it gives 2 people the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, welcome. Come on in, have a seat there.
I made it.
That's great.
Very rare.
Early. That's great. Usually it's 5:45 when I come in on here. I hope you weren't speeding.
No. No, not this way.
Just checking, I mean. Okay, so does everyone feel that if we do it by committee, and then if there's 2 people on the committee, there's the opportunity of 2 people speaking on that committee?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will start that in January. So we will be prepared for our January meeting.
Yep. We might even give you an email reminder or 2.
Well, there won't be much from this month.
Madam Warden, it's not.
Yes, sir?
It's not on. I forgot to mention at the beginning, but is the King's Transit free for the next 2 weeks, like other
Yes.
years?
Yes.
Right, ridership free. Okay.
Actually, that was brought up at the meeting that we were up at the announcement. The staff says, well, Digby, they're free, not the rest of us. But I can tell you, people appreciate it. I've already had people tell me that it makes a big difference in the world for this 2 weeks, just being able to relieve some of the pressure just before Christmas. Do everything else. And we may say, well, that's only $7 a day. To someone, that's, $35. That's a lot of stuff it can be. Okay, so our next is correspondence. The Bear River Board of Trade sent us a thank you. And the Governance and Police News, I sent it this way this time. Normally it would not be on actually it will be on the committee of the whole from now on. And what that is, just so everyone knows, I'm on the police board and so is Matthew. But this comes to me through the other committee that I'm on. And so I want to share it, and we used to just share it with the board, but I think there's enough interesting things in there. For example, when Winnipeg has just did an increase of 7% to their staff, and the mayor had to go to the public and explain that they had to pay the guys. Because sometimes we get wrapped up, but I find this perspective when I'm looking at somebody, oh yeah, I can understand where people are coming from. So is there anything else before we go in camera? Could I have a motion to go in camera for a legal item, please?
Motion to go in camera.
Seconded.
Always for the legal item. And all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Brian, we're gonna have to make you leave for a
Yeah,
minute.
well, that's fine. I'll just sit out.
It's a very brief one.